Looking for a new pair of cowboy boots? Check out Tecovas. Tecovas is a Western wear company, and they're opening a store at the King of Prussia Mall this month. Tecovas boots are handmade and known for being stylish and comfortable. Some of these cowboy boots remind me of what my grandpa Willie would wear when he rode his horse and taught inner city kids all about cowboy life. The Tecovas grand opening party will be Friday, June 28th through Sunday the 30th. Grab a drink and get fitted by a pro. Find out more and see what catches your eye at tecovas.com. That's TECOVAS.com. See y'all there. Today on CityCast Philly, the Philly Joy Bank has officially launched. This is a program supporting expecting Philadelphians with a guaranteed income for a year and a half. And this is important because Black infants in our city are more likely to die within the first year of their lives than babies of other races or ethnicities. Last April, I spoke with city health officials about this pilot program. It's Wednesday, June 26th. I'm Trinae Nuri, and here's what Philly's talking about. Dr. Stacey Callum, you're the director of the Division of Maternal, Child, and Family Health at the Philadelphia Department of Public Health, and you're a pediatrician. And joining us also is Lydia Seymour. You're the Community Action Network Coordinator for the Philadelphia Department of Public Health's Division of Maternal, Child, and Family Health. Thank you both for being on the show.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, thank you for having us.
Stacey, why is there such a racial disparity in birth outcomes for Black babies in our city?
Thanks, Trinae. I think that is the right question for us to be starting with. So first, just to go into the numbers. Overall, Philadelphia has the highest infant mortality rate of the top 10 most populous U.S. cities, if you look back over the past several years. Then moreover, as you said, Black infants in Philadelphia, they have 3 times the infant mortality rate of white infants in Philadelphia. So that is a sort of mind-boggling racial health disparity, and that's what we're here to address. As far as the reasons why, I think you really have to point to systemic racism, both historical and present, leading to disparate impacts on communities and sort of concentrated disadvantage, higher rates of poverty. And that is from decades upon decades of systemic racism in our society, plus present day racism that manifests in health outcomes.
Is the problem unique to Philly?
No, sadly, we see racial health disparities in infant mortality and in maternal mortality across our country. I think reflecting just sort of the history of systemic racism that is part of our country's history.
So tell us about this new program. It's called Philly Joy Bank. What's this all about?
So this is our response. So as the Community Action Network here in Philadelphia, we are about taking action. So our total goal is to decrease infant mortality in Philadelphia and also to improve and address racial disparities around Black maternal health and also infant health. And so with infant mortality and with all the things that are happening around that here in our city, we decided to focus on financial stress because we did some research and we've done a lot of data around like what are the things that are causing premature births and what are the things that are causing stress around in pregnancy. And one of the things among all racial groups we found is that finances are a top issue. And so one of the things we're doing with the Philly Joy Bank is providing 250 Philadelphian pregnant people with $1,000 cash supplement. It's unrestricted, so we're not telling them what to do with that money.
And how long are you going to give that money out?
For 18 months. So that's going to be 6 months within pregnancy and then a total of 12 months after pregnancy, postpartum.
How can giving this monthly, it's a guaranteed monthly cash payment to expecting people, how does giving that cash improve birth outcomes, right? So like for me, when I was an expecting mom, especially for my first child, I would have loved to have prenatal visits that were closer to my apartment, or having an advocate like a doula or a midwife to help me understand like my body changing, my whole pregnancy, and even affordable childcare options that I could use so I could get back to work. So how can giving cash help those birth outcomes?
Yeah, that's a great question, Trinae. And I think your examples were perfect because what you talked about was childcare. You talked about transportation. Those are all things that having extra cash on hand during pregnancy with the flexibility to use as you see fit, you could use it to address all of those issues. A different pregnant person might have other stressors and can use the cash to address those needs. Taking a step back, though, there's sort of mechanism we think between cash and pregnancy and birth outcomes is sort of twofold. So one, pregnancy is inherently sort of a stressful time. So is new motherhood or new parenthood. And then we know that from our data, financial stress is a really big stressor. So just having extra cash on hand during pregnancy, we think will just alleviate stress. And we know that alleviating stress, that has physiological changes in the body that helps just have better pregnancy outcomes. And then second, what you were touching on, we think of sort of as like the social determinants of health. So all the things outside of your medical visit that affects one's health. And that having extra cash on hand during pregnancy will allow the pregnant person to address those social determinants of health as they see fit with flexibility in ways that we think will ultimately impact birth outcomes. And I say we think will impact birth outcomes because there's evidence actually behind this approach. So in Manitoba, Canada, they have a program that's actually like policy for the past over 20 years called the Healthy Baby Prenatal Benefit, where they give no strings attached cash to low-income pregnant people. And what they found is that reduces the rates of low birth weight by 21% and prematurity by 17.5%, which is astronomical. Because of that evidence, we really are optimistic that Philly Joy Bank will be successful here in Philadelphia.
And just to clarify, this would be the first of its kind in the country.
Not the first, it'll be amongst the first. So we want to give props to our colleagues in San Francisco who we adore, the Abundant Birth Project, that is doing a guaranteed income project in San Francisco for Black pregnant and Pacific Islander pregnant people, extending for 6 months postpartum. So we are amongst the first and definitely the first in our city.
And Trinae, sorry, if I could just jump in here. I want to thank you first for just speaking to your own lived experience. You know, and one of the other things about the Philly Joy Bank is that we understand that we need emotional support and we need all the other supports. And so along with the cash supplements, we're also offering doulas. We're offering breastfeeding support. We're also offering home visiting.
Right.
But we know that all of those things are necessary for a healthy pregnancy and even health postpartum. And so we're offering that as well as voluntary services for all of the 250 Philadelphians.
More on this issue after the break.
Hi, I'm David Plotz, CEO of CityCast. Or, as I can say now, thanks to a few weeks with Babbel, hola, soy David Plotz, el jefe de CityCast. What if in 2024 you got a little bit better every day? When you're learning a new language with Babbel, that's exactly what you're doing. And if Babbel can help me start speaking a new language in just 3 weeks, imagine what you could do in a full year. I got started with Babbel because I realized that my girlfriend, who's a native Spanish speaker, and my son, who's in AP Spanish, were conspiring against me, or I thought they were conspiring against me in Spanish. I wanted to know what they were talking about. And now, thanks to literally just a few weeks of Babbel, I'm starting to be able to eavesdrop. It is rare that something so fun and simple, and Babbel is super fun and very simple, is also so useful. So here's a special limited time deal for CityCast listeners. Right now, get up to 60% off your Babbel subscription, but only for CityCast listeners at babbel.com/CityCast. Get up to 60% off at babbel.com/CityCast. Spelled BABBEL.com/CityCast. Rules and restrictions may apply.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up during inflation, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, bit to get 30, bit to get 20, 20, 20, bit to get 20, 20, bit to get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month? Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
$45 up front for 3 months plus taxes and fees. Promo rate for new customers for limited time. Unlimited more than 40 gigabytes per month. Slows full terms at mintmobile.com.
Lydia, if you're comfortable to share, you gave birth to a premature baby. What would have been helpful for you during this time?
Sure. So I was a new mom. Our first child was born at 25 weeks and 4 days. And at the time, I don't even think was able to process all the things that was going on. It was very overwhelming.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's overwhelming. Yeah.
And just a little insight into that, we were going in for our 25-week prenatal appointment. So I'm coming from work. Me and my husband were together and we're meeting up at the doctor's office. We actually had a midwife. And so we were trying to take all the precautions, to go and go through a healthy pregnancy, And so we got to the appointment and saw the midwife and things were going pretty much as normal. At that time, there was nothing alarming. By the end of the appointment, the midwife just took my blood pressure. It was a little elevated. From that point, we were sent to the hospital. We never left the hospital from that point on. Mm-hmm. And it was, sometimes it feels like it happened just yesterday, because of all the things that were around that. But I realized that experience has brought me to this point and fighting for just justice. And I don't even have all the words, but just fighting for justice and making sure that every mom, every family, even dads, at this point are seen, are heard, are provided for in every space, Thankfully, our daughter now is 6 years old and she's healthy. She's doing well.
That's good to hear.
Yes. But we went in and we had to have an emergency C-section. We stayed in the NICU for 112 days. Wow. And it was a lot. It was a lot to process, emotionally, a lot to process financially, and I think a lot of the support came from different places. I'm grateful our family was very supportive. And so they were able to call, they were able to show up, they were able to send care packages. We have a strong, faith-based community that showed up, prayed for us, came and just was like, you need to take a nap. I'll be on post or I'll do a rotation. And then even just for my husband, he had to go back to work shortly after our delivery. And then people were able to kind of drive me back and forth to the hospital because you don't think about those things. As a mom, you're not able to drive after a C-section, And so, people were able to take shifts to take me back and forth to see our child. And then with his time frame, he would go to work and then come straight to the hospital after going to work, And so it was definitely a community of people that still to this day support us, still to this day champion our daughter and remind us of the miracle that she is, And so those were some of the support mechanisms that really helped us carry us through that time.
Are there any particular neighborhoods that are more impacted by the racial disparities in these birth outcomes? And what does that tell us?
Yes. So one of the things that we as the Community Action Network has done, we've done our research in our city, Philadelphia, and we pinpointed 3 specific areas because they have very low birth weights in these areas. And those are Nicetown, Tioga, Strawberry Mansion, and also Cobbs Creek in Philadelphia. And so those are the top 3 zip codes that have very low birth weights. And unfortunately, they are Black and brown pregnant people and families that are experiencing these high, very low birth weights. And so, it's a whole lot around that. This is a pilot that we're looking to sustain and have continue so we can branch out into other areas, but we're starting there.
And what would success look like for this program?
It will look like those numbers decreasing. And then even for those 250 moms and pregnant people that receive this support, them being able to turn around and be a peer support to other moms in those areas that are experiencing those things. And then also us being able to turn around and make this this is the norm in Philadelphia, that we're giving these to not just the 250, but we're on our third and fifth and sixth pilot of this program, and so that's what success will look like.
And I'll just add, I 100% agree with everything Lydia said. And I'll add that also success for us would be able to take what we've learned from the Philly Joy Bank and bring it to policymakers at the state or federal level and make broader changes about how we take care of people when they're pregnant or have a new baby in our country.
Stacey Callum and Lydia Seymour from the Philadelphia Department of Public Health's Division of Maternal, Child, and Family Health. Thank you so much for this information and for joining me on CityCast Philly.
Thank you, Trinae.
Thanks so much for having us.
To apply for the Philly Joy Bank program, you have to be over 18, be between 12 to 24 weeks pregnant, have an annual income of less than $100,000, and live in the Cobbs Creek, Strawberry Mansion, or Knightstown, Tioga neighborhoods. And according to the site, the 250 participants will be selected through a lottery. For more information on how to apply and what you need to apply, check out the Philly Joy Bank's website in the show notes. That's all for today here on CityCast Philly. If you enjoyed this show, why not tell a friend? Rate the show, leave us a review, and hit that subscribe button. Be sure to sign up for our morning newsletter too. It's called Hey Philly. We'll be back tomorrow morning with more news from around the city. Bye.